Greetings! Welcome to Top Tier Tips. I'm Force of Nature, and I welcome you to your prime spot for tips and tricks to help you level up at Dead or Alive 5. Alright, in this session, we're going to be looking at how to deal with Hitomi. Or more precisely, Super Hitomi. Because yeah, I know that online Hitomi is the bane of a lot of players' existence. Yeah, them online sweeps, eh? Anyways, yeah, so we're just going to be looking at just a kind of way to kind of approach with and what to look out for when I'm dealing with Hitomi. So from a kind of a gameplay standpoint, I'll just give you some details on her. She's a bit of a rushdown, zone-in hybrid kind of character. So what that means is that she can both play a bit of a rushdown style, but is also very potent at keeping opponents out and also like zoning opponents. This is thanked a lot by her good lateral movement. Like she has probably she has one of the best screen backdashes in the game, and she can move back and forth really well. So with those things, you have to, she can actually end up playing footsies and end up zoning and keeping you out really well. Like you have to watch out for certain tools, like her infamous death fist, for example. All right, during the neutral game, main things that you do want to be looking out for Hitomi, just for example, is she does have some good pokes. Like her 6H was K, her 3K which has follow-ups, her 1K also has follow-ups, P plus K, or even like 1 P plus K, which is a good high crush mid punch elbow for her. She stuns on, could stun on normal hit. Also ends up having follow up. So those are some things to look out for in like during neutral. And also be careful of a particularly good low crush she has. Her 3H with skate, reasonably fast, comes out in about 20 frames and leaves her at -7 in block. So just do a quick 5-frame low throw if you do block that move. So yeah, you do want to be careful. You do want to be careful of that. As I alluded to earlier, when she is trying to keep you out, the primer moves to look out for are her Death Fist move, 236P and 46P. And if you are like backing away from her, like doing some back steps, be a bit careful of 236K. This move is if I'm not mistaken, it's a hold resistant high kick that's only -5 on block, so it's completely safe. It reaches really far, like it can reach like almost 3 meters, so that can be. She can use that move to catch some of your back steps or just to get in. So that's another move to watch out for. Anyways, before I go on, I just want to throw out a little disclaimer that if I end up saying anything in here that you're unfamiliar with, or that you're just not sure of, then be sure to just check out some of my other guides to see if you can find some answers to your queries. Alright, so I'll just end up saying some other moves to kind of look out for. Alright, when it comes to lows, I always want you to be mindful of the low sweeps. Like these moves can be pretty annoying and end up can just chip away at your health bar if you don't end up anticipating them or like dealing with them properly. I'll go over it just a little later. I'm just still going over more stuff. But the main thing I do want you to pay attention to when you're just looking at Hitomi is basically just look at her different kind of move variation. That's a large aspect of her gameplay, is string variation. So if you can end up seeing right there, you got your own little special move list box right there at the bottom left for under to represent Hitomi. And some main things I do want you to see is where strings can end up trailing off. So with the right stick, you can scroll through it. When you input a move, it ends up highlighting. As you can see right here, Hitomi can do quite a few things after like PP or for example PP 6P. I'll just let you know that PP is high, is a high. PP 6P is also high. Something like PP 6K is a mid kick. So when you're going through this, little tip is when you're looking at the little bar, you can end up seeing a little chevron, a little arrow on the right side of each letter. So you see with like the P's, H, K's, whatever. If you end up seeing an arrow that points diagonal up, then that like diagonal up forward or the 9 position, that represents a high. If you see it pointing forward in the 6 position, that represents a mid. And if you see it pointing down forward, I'll show you, see for like a low. If you see it pointing down forward, then that in the 3 position, that represents a low. So when you're just trying to figure out the different move heights, that is something that can end up helping you out. But a big thing though with dealing with Hitomi string, well, besides knowing like where different hits go, is paying attention to like when you can crouch under a high. A very common string that Hitomi can try to abuse on you is something like the 3KP, which can have like numerous follow-ups. So if you end up looking up there, this is just for 3KP. See, right here is at least 6 options for it, and it just like fills up the screen, like lots of different things you can do. So if you can end up stopping the string at 3KP, then that could be like really good for you. But you know, right now the second hit is a high punch, which you can, if you block the, for instance, if you block the first hit, you can high hold the second hit, for example. So if you do have quick reactions, they're sharp, then you can hold it. You can also crouch under, like if she tries to do 3KP 2K, then if you crouch under the high, you'll also be able to block if she tries to sneak in a low. But there are numerous things that you have to watch out for. But I do recommend, after blocking 3K, if the opponent uses 3KP a lot, then try to 2P under it. This is instant high crush, so it will do it. So you can just stuff the string before anything kind of worse can come out of it. Take note that a similar string 3KK is a natural combo. So what that means is that if you block the first hit, then the second hit, well, you can't hold it on reaction. So this if it's not delayed, then this is a natural combo. So for this one, you just simply have to block it and call out if she's just doing 3KK or the third hit, which and as you see, the second and third hit are high, so you block it, then end up retaliating accordingly. All right, a string I want you to pay attention to with regards to Hitomi, like maybe around like a middle-ish range, is her 6/6K string. Her 6/6K can have like a couple follow-ups, like 6/6KK or 6/6K 2K. If you block 6/6K, I just want you to crouch, so do a crouch block. What this will do is you'll duck under the second hit of 6/6K, and you'll end up blocking the second hit of 6/6K 2K. So if she just does the full string 6/6KKK, you'll end up crouching under everything. Then you can end up punishing or at least retaliating after the string. And of course, if you do 6/6K 2K, then you'll block after you block the low sweep, you can do like a stand and throw as a punish to her. The only thing you have to worry about is if she just ends up doing 6/6KKP. In that case, if you crouch, you're gonna have to like stand and block right away or try and like hold the mid punch. So that's basically if you end up ducking the second hit, that's the only thing to worry about would be the the launcher. The launcher can be it can be sidestepped also. So, but generally, yeah, the safe option would be to block it and punish. And you also have to be careful of any sort of delays. But under most circumstances, after you see 6K, crouching usually will be your go-to option for that. Alright, continuing on with the potential string pressure and string mix-up with Hitomi, particularly in close range. What I want you to do is take note of any sort of like potential mid-low situations. An example can be like 2P plus K or 2P plus K elbow, which has 2 follow-ups, a mid-punch, and low kick. The mid-punch can lead to me charged into a positive guard break, and their low sweep can end up knocking down. So with those, that is a 50-50 situation. So unfortunately, in that case you are going to have to guess. But if she does charge it, then obviously you can react to that. So for this, I usually tend to prioritize the low kick, unless if you have your back to a wall, then you do want to be careful of the mid punch. But if you are guarding and if you end up blocking this, then it's not going to be as much advantage. So she ends up being left at -8, which means that you can punish her with a 6T. So you do want to like take note of what options a Hitomi player ends up doing after that. But yeah, usually prioritize the low sweep since, and just usually you can end up low blocking and do a forward throw, or you can try and low hold. So yeah. I also did use the example of 3KP before. Well, I'll just continue this with one with the I'll just continue with this one for example that unfortunately for those kind of situations between where there's an option between like a mid or low, you are going to have to guess. So the example I did use 3KP is obviously if there's a part where there isn't a mix-up, then you can use the same reaction with this for here. It's either 2P crouch or like high hold. So if you can try to avoid the actual mix-up situation, that would be good. I'll just let you know also about that some Hitomis might try and do some shenanigans on blocks, such as free cancel nonsense. For Hitomis that just like to do stuff like 6 PK or like 9 PK on an opponent's block, for those you're gonna have to call it the free cancel and either jab 2P or do like whatever's like your fastest, like high, mid, or low. Then whatever's your high mid, then you're gonna have to you're gonna have to respond to free cancels with that, because in close Hitomi players will try and use free cancels and delays quite a bit. If she's trying to poke with like 6K or 6BK, the follow-up hit after that will either be a high or a low. So after you block 6K, then it's usually recommended to crouch after that. So you'll duck the high and can low block the low, and remember, punish with the stand-in throw. But do be careful that the final hit is a mid kick. If she does finish the string, she will leave herself unsafe and open to throw punishment. So yeah, so being patient and vigilant in close can be very helpful when it comes for dealing with Hitomi. But yeah, don't let her try and abuse free cancels too much. It's time for the infamous low sweeps. Alright, so generally when fighting Hitomi, the low I want you to look out for is 2H plus K and any sort of variation of it. Alright, for this low sweep, this will provide Hitomi with +5 advantage. So this will be her advantage low of choice, because something like 2k or 1k, which are also good lows, are not advantage and are reliant on strings for pressure. So I always want you to pay attention to low sweeps, but I can tell you a little something. Right here it's either +5 or +6, depending on both positioning, such as open close stance or like distance, but in general it's usually +5. If you're able to stagger escape that to fastest, then you can actually make it negative. So if you could stagger a 2H plus K on fastest, then you get that bad boy down to -1. Hitomi's not at advantage anymore, and you can like punch her in the face every time she tries to just kind of tries to just roll this bullshit on you. Then you just, if you're able to stagger escape, which is just simply do smooth circles quickly in a single direction. So you can do that, and you can end up and you just practice doing that, and you can end up in being able to stagger escape this down to -1. Alright, as for 2H plus K and all the its numerous variations, I gotta show you that there's lots of different ways that Hitomi can access that move. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to go through a move list and see like all the different ways she can try and sneak in a low sweep. But another sweep I want you to also pay attention to is her 8 PP 2K. The mix-up off this is 8 PPP, which unfortunately the third hit of 8 PPP is only a safe on block -5 mid punch. It always bounds. But if you're just standing there blocking, then this is a high low, so she might try and sneak in the low. So when you see 8P being used, then you're gonna have to try and take note of what options she's using. But we'll let you know that yeah, this is a high punch. So if she's ended up using a lot of highs, you can 2P her. In general, I would say it's actually fine to fight Hitomi in close. Like, I'll just show you right now that her speed for the most part is kind of average. She does have a 10 frame jab, but her mids are 13 frames, so 6P, 6K. Her 2P is 14 frames, though she does get +1 from it. I do also want you to watch out for Hitomi's that spam this move, because basically when you're in close, what I want you to do though is keep her on the defensive. Like when Hitomi's on the offensive in close, then she can pressure you a fair bit. But if you end up keeping her on the defensive, then what's going to happen is Hitomi's going to go into 1P mash mode, or some will even just mash PPP, some crap like that. But for 1P, as you see right here with the move details on, it is -5 on hit, so Hitomi players shouldn't be able to do this shit over and over. So after 1P, just elbow her or knee her right away, whether you block it or if it hits. Well, if you block it, then you can low throw her, but generally just knee her in the gut. The main reason actually why I'm actually recommending that you actually do use knees, she does have an expert kick hold, which actually can do a fair bit of damage, but the main thing though I do want you to watch out for when you're mashing punches against Hitomi's is that she does have a really good punch pair. So if you use too many jabs and too many elbows, she will eventually end up catching something and will get a fair bit of advantage to continue her pressure game. So if you see Hitomi doing, which is her 9H, does that a lot, kick her in the face. So you can either do high kick, low kick, or anything. Basically anything other than a high punch or middle punch. So I usually recommend either a good mid kick or a good high kick to stop parries. That's why sometimes when you're fighting Hitomi in close, it's fine to just use your K. So if your character has a good K or a good mid kick combo start or a strong stun, all the better. Another thing also about 9H is watch out for, it does have a couple follow-ups. Alright, you see right here is a 9 HP. This one is -9, so you can punish with a forward throw. However, the other option, which is a high kick, it's fully safe on block. So for this, all you can do is just try and pressure back. Again, for Hitomi in close, I recommend doing either 2P or 6K just to be on the safe side, so she doesn't try and scum you out with this move. So yeah, just be a bit careful of that. All right, just a couple other things. Let me just set this up. I just want you a couple sit-down stuns to watch out for. Is her quarter circle back P. It's right here. Anytime you get hit by a sit-down stun, I highly recommend you to stagger it. All right, I think that it's still set to, yeah, fastest. So on fastest, you saw it gets to 18, but if you don't, she's at plus 26. So generally, she may try and launch you after that. If you are able to stagger it on fastest, then something like her 9K won't be a guaranteed launch, or continuing stun. So those are kind of things you don't want her to do. Like if she were to get a set up like a critical burst or something like that with this, like basically the only way really to get out of that, well, because of sit down stuns and unholdable stun, the only way to be able to get out of that is you would have to hold it. So take note of when the Hitomi player is likely to do either this, or which is a mid punch, or 8K is an alternative. 8K only gives up to plus 23 on no stagger, so it's not as good as the other one, and it's a slower move. So this will generally be a sit down stun of choice for Hitomi players. So yeah, so all I can say is watch out for it. Also, just want to let you know for Hitomi that majority of her guard break moves are mid punches. Like a lot of them do require a charge, and we'll give her anywhere from as little as like +3 to like +8 for standard ones. I mean, excluding of course, I mean like a fully charged power blow. So if you see her trying to open you up by charging guard breaks, then just hold mid punch. So because it's usually followed up by some mid punches before. Also, there are some exceptions, but you can usually catch on pretty quickly when chargeable guard breaks are used. The only guard break that's not a mid punch and isn't chargeable or anything like that is her 6/6 plus K. So it's a 37 frame move, so Hitomi player hopefully should not be using it in neutral too much. So she might use it during, well, when she has the advantage or something like that. So maybe like on wake up she may try and catch you with that. But if you try and react to that and just make it cold, because it is pretty slow on top. Well, even though it is also a good low crush also. So yeah, just be careful of that. All right, that's it for now. I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me throughout this guide. I also want to give big props and big thanks to the feedback for my 500 sub video. I just want to say you guys rock, or you guys kick ass. I mean, I appreciate it. I mean it though. I'm just glad I'm able to just be able to help you guys out. Anyways, as you may know, if you have any questions pertaining to anything with regards to this guide or DOA or whatever, or why does Ayane look so awesome right now, then just feel free to message Force of Nature on freestepdodge.com. And you can also do that just to say hi or whatever. You can also contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So there are other options. And also be sure to just take a look at some of my other guides, both character guides and tutorials and all that, just to get a better, well-rounded look at the cast, and also just to gain a greater appreciation just how damn complex Dead or Alive 5 last round is. Alright, before I go, I just want to see that you got here Hitomi decked out in her cool looking Tsubaki Yayoi costume from BlazBlue, and of course Ayane's Ino from Guilty Gear. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you come check out these costumes. They're actually pretty friggin' awesome. So so yeah, enjoy. Anyways, this is Force of Nature signing off. Want to say thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Top Tier Tips.